So this is an important part of cash flow. Now, in all these types of expenses, I think it's important to really look at where can you find money that's rightfully yours, right? And that's the 4 I's.
Yep.
The IRS. Are you tipping the government? Let's stop doing that.
Absolutely.
Interest. Are you overpaying on your interest because you haven't refinanced or restructured your loans or renegotiated your interest rates? Investments. Are there any underperforming investments that could cash out and pay off the loans? Are there any investments that have hidden fees or commissions? And if you can get a little bit of financial detective work to figure that out, you can keep more of your money. And is there a way to protect the downside? And the 4th I is insurance. Are there duplicate coverages? Are there improper structure? Can you raise deductibles so that you just cover the basic things on your own and then have the insurance kick in for the more catastrophic type of events? So this is part of, your power hour is on Mondays. You just look and say, okay, where am I at paying myself first? With the money that's left over, I didn't go out of bounds. I didn't spend more than what was left over, right? Because I just got too excited and bought something. But if we borrow to consume, that leads to debt. That harms cash flow. So part of the money habits could be you could pick a day where you're like, that's my money day for education. So mindful cash management on that day, and you listen to one of these YouTube videos, or you pick up one of my books, or something like that, and you're just increasing your education because we aren't born with a money manual. We get money before we probably ever read anything. And unfortunately, a lot of what we read around money, and look, I've been part of this problem, I'm confessing here, is that a lot of times the people that are teaching us have an agenda of how they make a living. And so it's really hard to give quality advice if it's coming from Wall Street that just wants your money. And that might not be the right thing for you, because maybe it's time for you to start a business. Maybe it's time for you to invest in your skill set. And investing into a retirement plan might be problematic because it doesn't help you build cash flow today. It doesn't help you understand how to make more money, or you haven't had financial education on how to keep more of the money that you make. And I think people skip those steps far too often. How do you make more money? Number one. How do you keep more of the money that you make without cutting back? And they go right to, how do I make money on my money? Yeah. And it becomes speculative. Well, I should do gold. I should do cryptocurrency. I should do real estate. I should do mutual funds. I should do a stock. And the thing is, before you've really invested in your investor DNA and discovered what type of investor are you? What are good investments for you? What can you do to create economic independence? This is such a huge factor, economic independence. Let's see if you can define it for us.
Economic independence is when you have more money coming in than expenses, right?
But that money's coming in on a regular basis from assets or from businesses that don't require your every single day involvement. It doesn't mean that you just set it and forget it and it always works out.
Right. A lot of people will say, I want to learn how to get passive income. Would you differentiate the two? Like, economic independence and having reoccurring funds coming in, but it's not necessarily passive, right? But that's just a term that floats around in the financial world a lot.
Right. I think that we've been lulled to sleep thinking that investments should be passive. We hand our money over and we make our money work for us. But the problem is, if that money isn't actually doing what we want it to do because it's taking on too much risk, there's too much volatility, there's too many fees, it's not creating cash flow, actually funding retirement plans can slow down our economic independence. I want people to be more active with their investments than less, meaning especially in the choice. Like if you're going to invest in real estate, be willing to say, that's not a good deal. That's not a good deal. That's, this might be a good deal. Let me investigate it further, rather than just handing it over to someone saying, well, they're the expert. I'll just trust them. Now, let me be really clear about this. There are extraordinarily intelligent, smart, brilliant people on Wall Street, but a lot of those are working for themselves or working for hedge funds. And there's a lot of people that are handing their money over, and it's not working hard enough for them. It's not doing enough for them. It's about accumulation, which is waiting for 30 years, compounding your interest and hoping that's going to take care of some future date. I want people to focus a lot more on how do you create cash flow. And Investor DNA would say, what category are you going to focus on? For some people, they're brilliant real estate investors. That's a good category for them. For others, it's a horrible idea. It's a train wreck. They're going to end up over leveraging and have negative cash flow and say yes to deals that weren't the right deals because they were just thinking that was going to be a good thing. Or people that get really hyped up because cryptos sound so good and Bitcoin, and they get in at the wrong times and they didn't really know what they were doing. We've got to get more educated. And I think we've kind of weakened society by saying, you can never figure this out. Just trust the experts. Well, a lot of experts are salespeople, not experts.
Yeah. It's like whoever is selling us on an idea or a product, we really have to look at where are they incentivized? Right. And those are questions that we can all ask people. It's hard to, navigate all of this, but when you begin to ask them those questions, you might get a more clear idea on how they're incentivized. And that's going to help you understand why they're pushing a product or a service to you.
Right. Follow the money.
Yeah.
Look at the compensation.
Absolutely.
Look, I had to stop selling life insurance in 2005 because it was really lucrative to sell it. And if I kept selling it, like, I have a bias towards overfunded whole life. People have to know that if they're watching the channel and listening to everything that we're talking about, because I like security, I like stability, but I don't think that's the end all be all. It's a storage facility for your money.
Yeah.
That you could then use that cash for other things. But what you use that for depends upon who you are. Where can you create cash flow? For me, right now, I think that's private businesses. For me,
Okay. Yeah.
Private businesses are there ones out there that can support Wealth Factory and our mission and vision that we could acquire, that gives us new ability, it gives us new infrastructure, gives us better reach, it gives us a good team. Like, that's what I'm looking for, and I have to be picky. It's been a long time since I bought a business. You know, it's been 6 years. It's hard for me to be patient. You know me. I'm not the most patient person.
You're a quick start.
So passive income, it's a degree. It's a kind of continuum. Completely passive, I don't know a lot of that exists, because a lot of times it's just money passing people by.
Yeah.
But making your investments more passive, meaning there's recurring revenue, it keeps coming in, but you still monitor it.
Yeah.
You still are responsible for the management of it, but you're not dealing with it moment to moment every single day. And rather than having an investment you wait for 30 years to find out if it pays off, having that cash flow come along the way. So you get more active in the selection, and then you get more passive in the ongoing management. That's kind of the goal here. Want to master your money? Want to figure out the things that you could do to improve your finances? Click here and check out more videos like this on Money Matters.